Hello and welcome to another episode of Wicked Easy Cooking. Today we're working with pesto. I've got 4 great, easy, delicious recipes for you to try at your home. The first one we're going to make is wicked easy pesto marinated grilled chicken. And I'm going to post all of these recipes at the end of the video for you. Then I'm going to make a couple of pesto pasta salads, one Italian, one Greek. And lastly, we're going to make pesto pasta with shrimp. So the first one, super easy. Busy night, need to know what you're gonna cook something for dinner, you can't decide. Just take some boneless, skinless chicken breasts, that's fine. Put them into a bag, plastic, Ziploc bag, Glad bag, anything like that. And we're gonna use this as our marinade container. So I have the tenderloins here, and then I have the chicken breasts. Just pop those right in. Now in the recipe, I put 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast. You can increase this or decrease it depending on how much you need. Then we have a cup of pesto. We're going to put some 1/4 cup of rice vinegar in there, about a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of sugar. Just going to massage it all in the bag to get it all mixed in. We're going to put it in the refrigerator, minimum 2 hours. So that's the hard part. You got to plan ahead with this. But you can go up to 12. So you could do it, in the morning, go to work, come home, and it'll all be ready to go as well. So let's go ahead and mix this into our bag. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to put in our pesto into this bag. So I'm going to open it up here a little bit. I'm going to put in a whole cup. You can use homemade, which is the best, which I've showed how to make in a previous video. Or you could buy some store-bought if that works as well. So we've got a cup of that in. We're going to put in our 1/4 cup rice wine vinegar. We've got our teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of salt. All it is, really easy. Close it up. Get some of that air out of it. Close up the bag. And then just go ahead and mix it all together. Get that pesto all over the chicken. You don't want to skimp here because this is going to marinate. It's going to pick up that herb flavor with the garlic in there and with the cheese, of course, and the pesto in there. The olive oil help that. So there. That's all we have to do. So just put this in the refrigerator, let it marinate for a minimum of 2 hours, and then we're going to take it out and grill it. So see you in a couple hours. Okay, now we're going to make those pesto pasta salads. I have 2 different versions here. First one is going to be a Greek, kind of a Greek style. And then over here I'm going to make an Italian style. And of course, with all of the recipes, change it up as you see fit. If you don't have an ingredient, substitute something else. If you don't like an ingredient, omit it and put something else in there. It's totally up to you. And I'll give you some options as I go through. So you're going to have some pasta first. Now, again, post these recipes at the end. This one you're going to use about 1 pound of pasta. You could use rotinis, penne, farfalle, whatever you like, fusilli. This one I'm going to use some penne pasta, and also I want it to be gluten-free. So this one's made with rice and corn, so it makes it really easy to do. But you could use, again, any pasta that you want. And as you'll see here, we're going to use about 1/2 cup of pesto in there. So I've got some pesto here. Okay, and that's about 1/2 cup. And then we're going to add in some cherry tomatoes or chopped tomatoes, Roma. I have some beef steaks here. It's about 1 cup I put in, so we'll throw that in as well. And then I've got some arugula. You could use spinach if you'd like. I'm going to put in some arugula in there, which is kind of spicy lettuce, which will add a nice flavor to it. And then we're going to mix this up to get it all incorporated before we add in the rest of our ingredients. And that pesto is going to break down with that pasta and get it all incorporated with those noodles. Okay, once we get all that incorporated, we can start adding the rest of our ingredients. So I'm going to start out with some Kalamata olives, or Greek olives. I've already had these sliced up, so that'll go in. And then in your recipe it says some chickpeas, about 1 can of chickpeas, drained well. That's going to give it some crunch, going to give it some protein from the bean. It's going to give it some color in there, so in different shapes as well. So those are good. Then I have, you could use feta cheese, you could use mozzarella, whatever you like. But since we're going with Greek, I've got some chopped feta cheese. And then for some color, I've got some diced red peppers. I've got some Bermuda or red onions in there, which add flavor and color. Then I even put in some diced cucumbers without the skin or the seeds. I'm going to add those in. Now we stir all this up. We're going to correct for seasoning. And then I have some fresh lemon juice here, which adds a little pop to it. It adds an acidity to it. So we're going to put a little of that in there. And then we're going to taste it. Okay, we've got all this incorporated. I just want to touch of salt in there. The olives are going to provide quite a bit, but I know it's going to need a little bit more. Get that stirred in. And that's all it is to it. Put this in a refrigerator. Let those flavors blend. Serve it at a picnic, for dinner, a luncheon. Take it to work. So I'm going to make the other salad, and then we're going to plate both of these up. So the other one, you'll see in the recipe that I posted, is an Italian pasta. Now again, anything that you want to put in here. I have some, bow tie pasta or farfalle pasta. So we're going to use some of that. As it says, about 8 ounces of dried. So, when it cooks, it'll double. So you got about a pound in there when it gets done. We're going to use some white kidney beans here. Well, you could certainly use red kidney beans, black beans, whatever you'd like. But I'm going to put these white cannoli beans or Great Northern beans in here. And we're going to give them a little stir. And then I've got the pesto. So again, it says in there about a half a cup. We'll put this in there. And in the previous video, as I mentioned, I gave you a recipe for homemade pesto. Very easy to make, but of course, if you don't have it, you can certainly use store-bought. Then we're going to mix all of this in. Okay, so once we get that pesto mixed in, we can add in our tomatoes. Just going to add some color to it, some bright, vivid red. And then we're going to add in this Italian dressing, any type that you want. It's about, a quarter of a cup. And that's going to help loosen up or, break up that pesto a little bit. So it'll be easier to stir in there as well. Put that in. And it starts moving it around, thins out the pesto. So it's easier to stir. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more of that. Didn't measure. Again, about a quarter cup, but who's counting? And then we're going to add some black olives. Now, rather than the Greek or the Kalamata olives, which you could certainly add to this if you wanted to, I'm going to add, regular canned sliced black olives. And then it doesn't say this in the recipe, but as always, you can add anything you want. Maybe some cubed mozzarella or cheddar or whatever kind of cheese you want in there. I have some fresh mozzarella, the little teeny bucatinis, the little balls. So I'm going to add those in. Give that a stir, as well as some flaked Parmesan cheese. Put that in as well. Stir it all up. And then we're going to top it with some pine nuts or almonds or walnuts, pecans, whatever you like. Okay, now let's plate these two up. Okay, now that we have them both mixed, let's plate them up, see how they look on the plate, and give them our taste test. So this is our Italian one that we just finished. All those nice bright colors. A lot of that pesto tossed in there with the Italian dressing. Okay, and then on this one, we've got our Greek with the arugula, the feta cheese, cucumbers, Kalamata olives, all those red peppers in there. Okay, so you can see this one. And now you can see this one. Let's give it a taste. Excellent. Italian dressing's sharp, it's got the vinegar in it. This one's got the arugula with the gluten-free pasta. Very good. Both of them have that base of pesto. Makes them awesome. All right. Hope you try those at home. Now let's do the pesto shrimp pasta. Okay, for now, for our pesto recipe, I have wicked easy pesto pasta with shrimp. This one is super easy and guaranteed not to disappoint. Great taste, delicious. All right, so what we're going to have here is some pasta, spaghetti, linguine. I like to make it with angel hair sometimes, so I have spaghetti today that I'll be using. Then you're going to need some shrimp. To feed 4 people, you need about a half a pound of large shrimp. that you're going to peel and devein. Then we're going to have about, half a cup or up to a cup of pesto. We've got fresh lemon juice, olive oil, some chopped garlic, salt and pepper, some Parmesan cheese here that I've shredded. And then just for color, it's not in the recipe, but like all recipes, feel free to change them. We're going to add some chopped tomatoes just to give it some color, and because I had those around. All right, so now when we get to the shrimp, these I've already peeled and deveined. You can buy these already done. You could even use cooked shrimp in this dish. If you had some little ones, that's fine, big ones. But these, to peel and devein is simple. You just peel off this shell and pinch the tail. And that's all you have to do. And then to devein them, it's basically taking out the intestinal tract. Take a little knife and run it down the back side of the shrimp, and then just open it up and look. And if you see a little black line there, you just peel it out. You run it into some water to make it easy to do. This one doesn't happen to have any in it, so it's fine. So I'll just add that in. Got one more in here. We can check this one. Again, just peel around the outside. Give the tail a pinch. Off it comes. Now it's no shell. And then to devein it, again, just take it, run a knife, not too deep. Yep, this one has a vein in it. So we're just going to lift it up. You can see the vein coming out there, and just discard it. It won't hurt you if you left it in there. It's an intestinal tract, so it's mostly filled with sand, and little kelp and seaweed that the shrimp had eaten. But it is unsightly, so we like to get rid of those. Okay, so that's all we have here, and then we've got our pesto and our lemon juice. So this pasta I've already previously cooked, so I'm just going to drop it into the hot water to reheat it. So I'm just going to make one portion, one bowl for now. If you're feeding 4, use the whole recipe. Just 2 people, cut it in half, and that would be fine. So while that pasta is coming up, we're going to cook our shrimp a little bit. So I have a pan here. We're going to put our olive oil in there, maybe about half to start. And I'm going to put in 3 or 4 of these shrimp. Okay, we'll put those in and let them get started. Okay, our shrimp, I just flipped it. You can see they're starting to cook on both sides. Shrimp cook very quickly, so you don't have to do it very long. Once you get them in there in that olive oil and then flip them over one side, we can go ahead and add our garlic in there. You don't want to add it too soon because it could, get bitter. So stir that around in there. Once we get that all moved around, it's got the olive oil, that garlic's just starting to get fragrant here, cooking up the shrimp. Okay, so now we've got that cooking. We're going to deglaze it with that lemon juice. Okay, and then we can just stir that around. That'll slow down the cooking process of that. And then we can add in our pesto. Okay, we got our cooked pasta here. Stir all that together. I'm going to add in my tomatoes. Looks great. Okay, now we're going to put in our cheese on top a little bit. A little salt and pepper to season. And then we have a plate right here with a nice fork for us to taste it. Give it one last stir to incorporate everything. So we've got our pesto, we've got shrimp, garlic, everything in there. Take our pasta, put it there in the middle. Some more of that in there. Big shrimp on the side. This smells great. You can get some more of that sauce on there, that pesto sauce. All right, and there we go. Clean up our rim. Now, I don't know if you can see that. But now we just take a little taste. Twirl it around our fork. This is a great dish. So that's 3 down, 1 more to go. Finish that chicken. Okay, so it's been about 3 hours, which means it's dinner time. Let's get that chicken that's been marinating in that pesto sauce out of the refrigerator and let's get it to start cooking. So again, we just put it all in a bag here, the chicken breast with all the pesto and the rice wine vinegar and the salt and the sugar. So now we just gotta cook it. There's a couple of different ways that you can do that. You could put it in a little sheet tray and bake it in your oven, which is totally fine. You may even want to sear it in the pan first and then put it in the oven, or in the oven and then sear it, but that's fine. Or you could use a cast iron pan. This one's a cast iron grill pan. You can see the ridges in it. I love this pan. You can get it really, really hot. That cast iron makes great marks. So if it's like inclement weather, rainy, snowy, different types of year, you can't get out to your barbecue grill, this works wonderful. You can get it really hot, sear it right on it. The thing can even go right into the oven. Okay, so we're out here in sunny, beautiful Florida. Let's get this chicken on the grill. So you just take it right from your bag and leave the pesto right on it and just add it to that hot grill. Let smoke come up, close it down, 2, 3, probably 4 minutes each side. Make sure it gets good and charred. Check it with a thermometer if you want. 165, let's pull it off, bring it in the kitchen. So let's just keep grilling this. Okay, so we just brought it in. You can see the nice grill marks here from being on the grill. But as I mentioned, you could do it in the oven or in a grill pan if you'd like. So I've already, stuck a thermometer in this thing, so you want to overcook it and dry it out. Got it perfect, 165. There's going to be a little carryover cooking. So I let it rest for, 5, 6 minutes, just so the juices can, return. And now I'm going to slice it. And then I'm going to slice it on the bias, a little bit of an angle cut. So it gives a little bit of, better surface area spread when I put it on the plate. So I slice it to nice even portions. And then since I cut it like this, now I can shingle it onto my plate here. So you can see how we can shingle it all out here. Okay, so you can see that nice green contrast there with the chicken. I just got some rice pilaf on here. You can use any starch you want, some wild rice, some mashed potatoes, and just the mixed veggies, the carrot and the broccoli here. You might want cauliflower or any other vegetable. And that's it. You don't need a sauce because that pesto is going to provide that sauce. And I left a piece out here for me to try. It's good. 3 hours and it marinates perfect. The flavors have gotten into the chicken. That vinegar has acid. That rice wine vinegar has acted like a little bit of a marinade there. It's tender, but it also has that great pesto flavor on the outside. You can taste the garlic, and the Parmesan cheese that's in there. So it's really, really good. So try this one at home. I think you're really gonna like it. And it's super, super easy, okay?